You ever stop to think about the secret power hiding inside the simplest words we use every day? Well, today we're going to dig into one of the most common, but also one of the most powerful words in English. You use it all the time, but you might be surprised by just how much work it's really doing behind the scenes.
So, let me ask you this. If you had to build the English language from scratch, like a starter pack, which words would be absolutely essential? What are the core building blocks you'd need to get pretty much any idea across?
Well, it turns out some very smart people have already done the hard work for us. They created something called the Basic English 850 list. It's a hand-picked collection of words that they figured are enough for most everyday communication. You can think of it as the greatest hits album of the English language.
And right there on that super exclusive list, you'll find this little four-letter word, with. It's so easy to just gloss over it, but believe me, this simple word is an absolute powerhouse, and it does some of the most important jobs in our sentences.
So what's its big secret? Well, at its heart, with is all about connecting things. It's like the linguistic glue that holds our ideas together. It binds people, objects, and concepts, and it paints a picture that's way more detailed than single words could ever do on their own.
In fact, you could say this one tiny word has 4 distinct jobs, 4 key roles it plays to make our language work. So, let's break them down, one by one. All right, job number 1. This is the one you probably use the most, showing company. It tells us who or what is present when something happens. It basically answers the question, who else was there?
Take this sentence, for example. I went to school. That's a perfectly fine thought, but the second you add with my brother, boom, the whole scene changes. That little word with instantly drops another person into the story, connecting them in that moment.
Okay, so from connecting people, with also connects, well, stuff to other stuff. And that's its second job, addition. In this role, it acts like a verbal plus sign, tacking on a feature or an extra item onto something else. Let's look at this. The main object is the collar, right? But the phrase with a bell adds a really important detail. With is the word that sticks that new piece of information right onto the collar, and it completely changes the picture we have in our heads.
So, we've covered who and what, but with can also tell us how, and that's its third job, to point out an instrument. It's the word that tells us what tool was used to get something done.
In this sentence, with is doing all the work. It's telling us exactly what he used. He didn't use a rock, he didn't use his hand, he used a hammer. The word with creates that direct link between the action, hitting, and the tool that was used to do it.
And that brings us to its fourth and, maybe its most sophisticated job, providing context. This is where with gets to really show off by setting an entire scene or describing the circumstances of an event.
Just look at how much heavy lifting with is doing here. That beginning part, with the children so sick, explains everything. It provides the whole backdrop for the main point. That one word gives us the entire context, the why behind the whole situation. It's incredible.
But wait, there's more. The power of with doesn't just stop at those 4 jobs. Nope. Like any great foundational word, it's also a building block for creating even more words and ideas.
Just think about it. Without is its total opposite, right? The absence of something. To withhold something, you're literally holding it with yourself and keeping it back from other people. And to withdraw, you're drawing something back from a situation. See? They all spin off from that same core idea of connection or accompaniment.
So, why are we geeking out so much over one little 4-letter word? Well, because understanding these fundamental building blocks is the absolute key to being a clear and powerful communicator.
At the end of the day, words like with are precision tools in your language toolbox. When you really get all its different jobs, from showing company to being a full-on context engine, you just get so much more control over your own language. You can build sentences that are more vivid, more accurate, and just plain better. Which kind of leaves us with a final thought, doesn't it? With is just one of 850 of these essential building blocks. What other simple word do you use every single day that might be hiding a similar secret power? Thanks for joining us on The Explainer.